Hey guys, happy Monday. Hope y'all had a great weekend. In this video, I'm going to go over my forecasting spreadsheet. I paid Les O'Hara last year for coaching, and he has built and sold 2 roofing businesses and is also currently building a masonry business. They do about 5 million bucks a year, and he runs the same playbook for every single business. And one thing that he called out that I did not do at that time was financial tracking and forecasting. And so this is a very simple spreadsheet that outlines several things that need to be tracked inside the business, and it will give you an insight into the health of your business and also where you currently sit, and if you need to pull different levers or if you need to start making changes. So I'm going to go over each column here and just tell you why we track it. So cash is obviously important because it's the lifeblood of every business. So we have a cash column that we track every single Monday. Just pull open your bank account, look at the current cash there. Accounts receivable total. I pull this from Jobber and or our customized GoHighLevel dashboard that we've built with Owner Ops. But if you're using Jobber, you can easily get this by just going to invoices and then filtering by sent but not paid or awaiting payment. Awaiting payment or past due is how they will be tagged in Jobber. So we currently have 82K, 2 commercial construction invoices from the same company. That's about 55K of that. And so, yeah, when you play the commercial construction game, you just play this game of cash flow cycle. That's why we're primarily residential based. But case in point, most commercial construction companies, especially the large ones, that's about $100 million company that we work for. And yeah, they just kind of control the terms, right? So did I follow up? Yes. Do I have any concerns? No. I just track that and I report back to my team on that because that's part of my responsibility as the owner is accounts receivable. Work in progress. That's what WIP is short for, work in progress, meaning what jobs do you have on the schedule and how much are they worth? So we currently have 334,000 remaining on the schedule for this year, and our total forecasted is total cash forecasted, meaning how much cash is there left to collect. So between accounts receivable and work in progress, you get this number right here. So we're adding this and this to get this number. So that means we have another 417K of cash that we can go collect before snow flies here, meaning we've collected deposits or we have jobs on the schedule to go serve that. And that's important to know because real world application, we were booking jobs faster than we were fulfilling it for most of the summer. And we got to July, the end of July, and I said, this is crazy. We're booked to the end of the year. We now need to allocate resources and time to hiring, recruiting, and building another crew so that we can fulfill work faster. But the only reason I knew how to do that is because I've been tracking my forecasted amount, right? Like I've been looking at our schedule that's booked out. I'm comfortable enough to invest in another $100,000 chipper and more labor because we have this forecasted amount. If we didn't complete these jobs, the snow would come and then we would have to push these jobs until next year. So we would have all this cash that we could have collected on just sitting over the winter. So I would rather collect on that now so that we don't run into any issues with future people like backing out and asking for a deposit return. It's a pain in the butt. So if it's there, if they paid you for the deposit, my response is let's go collect it and let's go fulfill those jobs. So every Monday I have our accountant set up an automation from QuickBooks to deliver a financial report at 3 a.m. to my inbox. I'm an early morning guy. Been up since about 3:30 this morning, and I want her to deliver the report at 3 a.m. every Monday morning. I want it to be as close to accurate as possible, right? So I want her, if she's made any journal entries or updates on Friday before she leaves the office, I want that to be reflected in my reporting. And so this is probably not the most accurate, this is the most accurate number that I can get for right now of actual revenue, but it's not 100% accurate. And the reason is because we use a payment platform, Jobber. Let's say like we've sent 3 invoices out on, at the end of last week, and then people pay that with ACH. Well, there's a transaction, there's a window in which transactions are either tracked in Jobber and not reflected in the bank account, which AKA is the P&L, right? Because QuickBooks is connected to your bank account. So this is the closest representation of revenue that I can get by delivering a financial report at 3 a.m. every Monday, because that's when I do my reporting. I hope that made sense. Total end of year. What are we doing here? We are adding this number plus this number. So our total forecasted cash plus our current revenue gives us our total end of year number. So right now, if we finish everything, we finish at 1.241. That's if we finish everything and don't sell anymore. But I've been very clear with our sales guy, keep the hammer down. I'm filming ads every week. We're getting reviews every week. Keep selling and keep collecting deposits, because at a worst case scenario, we just start booking up next year's schedule. But I've told the field crew, our goal is to eat through every single bit of backlog we have on the schedule, and sales, keep selling and keep fulfilling, right? So that's where we're at right now. But what we need to track is our increase in payroll, right? So every 2 weeks we do payroll, every 2 Mondays. So Gusto is the payroll software that we use, and it provides you with a really nice graph of payroll trends. But I like to manually enter this stuff, because every single week as an owner, it's good practice to look at your numbers. If you just automate everything as an owner, especially in growth mode, you're not going to know when to pull the levers, right? If I just had somebody hired out doing all of this for me and everything was automated, I would just, I would probably like scan through the reports and just like not actually comprehend them. I would have never known to pull the lever to invest in another piece of equipment and hire more people to go fill the backlog. But the discipline of doing this first thing every single Monday, no questions asked, is what leads to being able to make good decisions inside of your business, or the best decision with the data that you have available. If you're not reviewing this, and if you're not actually looking at the stuff and comprehending it, you're not going to know what levers to pull. And I have Coach Les to thank for that. Like, he taught this to me, and he embedded this into my brain. And he said, this is arguably one of the most important things that you can do as an owner. Like, you have to show up and put in the reps, and you have to practice to get better. If you want to be a great entrepreneur, you have to put in the reps every week. It's no different than being an athlete. Like, you're not going to show up and just dominate on the field without putting in the reps at practice. And so that framed it in a way for me of like, all right, this is the practice that I need to put in as an owner every single week. So I need to be tracking this stuff. What I've been doing for the majority of this summer is tracking all of this. What I've added recently is tracking payroll, accounts payable, and credit cards, right? So this, like, I'm able to highlight this and know, okay, 51K, right? Our true cash is actually like 190K right now. But I would never know that if I don't go in and pull all this data and enter it and actually physically look at it and study it, okay? So my encouragement to you is start implementing a practice. Just start. Start over here with left, because that's the easiest one. Log into your bank account, pull cash every single Monday. Put a date there, pull the cash every single Monday. If you don't have a great way to track accounts receivable, start using a tool like Jobber. All right, because Jobber will show you what invoices you have outstanding and unpaid. Do all of your invoicing in there. Okay, hold yourself accountable to, did I follow up via email and call with all the invoices that are outstanding? Do you have any concerns? Be honest with yourself. You can see up here, I've said we had a residential customer that hadn't paid us for like 3 weeks. I'm like, yes, I have a concern. What do we need to do to get this fixed? Work in progress, right? Build this practice. This is where the most work comes in, and I have built a spreadsheet that allows me to do this, to track our work in progress and our total forecasted. Once again, total forecasted is adding work in progress and accounts receivable. For current revenue, set up an automation with your bookkeeper. Just send them an email right now and say, hey, can you please send me an updated P&L to my email every Monday morning at 3 a.m. Your bookkeeper can set up an automation inside QuickBooks to automatically trigger the P&L to your email, okay? Do that first thing Monday morning, and then total end of the year, set up a formula to add this and this, and that's, set up a formula to add current revenue and total forecasted, and that will give you your total end of year, all right? Payroll, once again, we use Gusto. Gusto is, in my opinion, the best HR and payroll platform. If you're still doing payroll, if you're still pulling your hair out on onboarding employees, Gusto simplifies the process so much. And correct me if I'm wrong on this, somebody, but I don't even remember how much it costs because it's so cheap. It's literally less than $100 a month. It's like the best thing in the world when it comes to payroll. Accounts payable, for us, this is trucking contractor, aggregate, so gravel pit. I have 2 gravel pits that I work with, so I just make sure that they submit all of their invoices before Monday because that's when I tell them that I do all of my accounts payable. The other thing that this would consist of for us is equipment haulers. And then we use Gusto to do all of our bill pay too. It's awesome. So you can pay all of your subcontractors right there. If the company does not have the option to pay ACH online. Okay, credit cards, $22,565. Just log into your credit card company. We have, everybody has a team card, all that, so that we have gas cards and all that stuff. We use Capital One for our gas cards and all that because we can quickly assign team members. And then I also have a separate credit card that I use for office expenses that's not Capital One because I want to track office versus field spend. All right, so that's a quick overview of how we forecast. If you guys are interested, I will do a breakdown on how I track my work in progress total, or my total forecasted, right? And that comes into a sheet that looks like this. In short, yeah, I'll save this one for the next one, but comment work in progress or WIP below this post if you want me to do a video on how we track this and how I can easily go to the remaining cash column and get this total for 417,185. Okay? Happy to break that down in a future video. I hope this is valuable. My challenge to you, look, I paid less $15,000 last year for coaching. This is not the one thing I took. I took so much away from it, but this is a practice that I deemed at the very top of the importance, taking away from his coaching. I'm encouraging you guys to do this right here, right now. It's simple to set up a spreadsheet. If you want a template, comment forecast template, and we'll share the link to a template here, okay? Thanks again. Don't forget, work hard, do your best, never settle for less. Make it a great week.